Okay, finally, it's as if the coming of Biafra is inevitable, as the Burkina Faso delegate has recently met with Simon Ekpa in Kilimanskoski community there in Finland. And what we are gathering is as if the Russia government wants Biafra, as a Sahel nation, because we've seen the partnership between Burkina Faso and the Biafra nation is becoming stronger and stronger. What is your take as regards this?
Even before this, Simon Ekpa begin to face a controversial crisis between him and Nigerian government, where they're trying to trump up charges against the Biafran government in exile under the Prime Minister, the self-acclaimed Prime Minister himself, Simon Ekpa, before the battle with the Finnish court continued, which has been condemned by some relevant agencies, United Nations agencies, on why Simon Ekpa should be taken to custody, considering the fact of what is actually going on in Nigeria. So there has been an underground relationship, between Ibrahim Traore, precisely. Let me not talk about Sahel nations now, Confederate Sahel nations now, but there has been this underground, diplomatic moves between Simon Ekpa and Traore and before the ordeal. And you can remember on several occasions, Traore has come out to call for Simon Ekpa's freedom and the world to actually intervene. And because of the seemingly political game that they play within some world leaders and other, because of political and economic interest, Russia has actually distanced themselves clearly from anything that will bring them closer to the passive relationship between Nigeria, France, and the UK and the rest of them. So, but as it stands now, after the unfortunate invasion of Benin space and the deployment of troops, in Cotonou Republic, where they are actually mounting surveillance and present right there in government house in Benin. We have over 200 soldiers deployed in that nation now, or after a coup was actually triggered in that nation. Bola Ahmed Tinubu quickly sent troops there, ordered war jets, in that state country currently now, and it is believed that these are people that want to disarm the neo-colonization of African countries by what nations or the countries who are imperialistic in nature, who are bringing imperialism, who are bringing political neo-colonization. So I'm not just saying it very clearly, but so you can see that relationship is already there. So currently now in Finland, that is what it is. So these delegates you are seeing now, who has actually been deployed by Ibrahim Traore to Finland to meet with Simon Ekpa, and what they are actually discussing, according to reports from that angle, according to what we are hearing, is not connected with the persuasion. They're trying to persuade him, they're trying to talk to him, they're trying to get his attention to see how they are actually going to work together, in trying to champion the liberation of Africa, the disarming of the neo-colonization, the imperialist government, of Western oppression on the soil of West Africa and Africans as a whole. So that delegate now will learn that it was made up of about top 10 high profile delegates now. Initially we learned that Alexander Stubb struggled to allow them access to Simon Ekpa, but somewhere along the line, because of the fear, what the relationship he had with the Nigerian government and France and all that, and Russia, who they see as enemy too, was able to negotiate and find their way. And from what we are seeing, they actually met, and a lot of discussion were being discussed, put on the table there. And one of the things they are talking about currently now is that we are coming to support Biafra freedom, in Nigeria, and one of the reasons why we will not be able to, free Nigerian jet fighters. That is one. Two, the 11 soldiers we are hearing that are naval air force soldiers we are hearing has also been taken to unknown place currently now, telling you that Traore mean business with Bola Ahmed Tinubu this time around, and they said any further attack, they might likely invade each other at the end of the day, and of course they are expecting that Biafra is going to support them in that regard, and that is why they needed to get some structures and understanding and agreement, and a certain level of cooperation with the prime minister himself, talking about Simon Ekpa, and that is what actually why they actually sent those delegates, to meet privately, with Simon Ekpa in Finland. And from what we are hearing, it was successful, and possibly, and that's why we are hearing that the Russian government, Vladimir Putin, who is being seen or fingered, to be behind the military uprising in Africa, in West Africa, precisely because of political and economic liberation in that regard, has also indicated that he wants Biafra in the Sahel nation, among Sahel nations. We don't know, how in that whether Biafran structures and government in Ezra will able to agree with that, because we are focusing directly to get the United U.S. government executive order, and of course we are seeing the green light coming from the congressmen and all that. We are seeing the position of Nigeria in that regard. We have seen the position of Aso Rock in that regard. So it's a serious panic mode in Aso Rock now. Now it has been made public that Ibrahim Traore meets Ibrahim Traore delegate meets Simon Ekpa in Finland. And secondly, that is what I am trying to explain, the political and the economic angle of that meeting, and why the Finland government, reluctantly allowed those delegates, to have a private coordinated meeting with Simon Ekpa in Finland, signaling that Simon Ekpa might likely, on the day of his appeal, presence in court, be freed.
But do you not think that with this being said, or with that being said, that the Burkina Faso delegate were in Finland to greet Simon Ekpa, do you not think with this now Simon Ekpa is having that belief that come April, when his appeal case will be heard, that definitely is going to become a free man?
It's not only coming from Ibrahim Traore, and when we talk about Traore, Ibrahim Traore is just a symbol of the Sahel nation, and I can tell you how many countries that make up Sahel nation, and coming out together to deploy high-profile delegates to Finland, means that there is a lot surrounding Biafra. It's not about Simon Ekpa precisely, it's about the kind of support Biafra is going to get at the end of the day, and who Biafra is going to align, as a nation, when it is finally being recognized. What we are waiting for is just the recognition of Biafra, and by this powerful nation within Africa and outside Africa, completely. But you can see that what happened in Benin Republic has actually triggered, another angle of Biafran agitation by Sahel nations themselves now are trying to take up a certain movement and do some certain calculations and meet some relevant people within the global community to see how Simon Ekpa will be rescued and the kind of support they are going to give Biafra at the end of the day. And based on that, maybe, as people will say, that he is confiscating Nigerian property pending when France and other world leaders will be forced to look into the issue of Biafra. I don't know how that is going to connect actually, and that if Nigeria actually try anything funny to engage them military-wise, of course, we know that Russia, who is ever ready, can do on the unthinkable, because Russia is already backing the Sahel nations politically and for economic interest at the end of the day. And that is why he's saying that he's going to do anything to support the release of Simon Ekpa, the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if Biafra can only join Sahel nation. But the problem is that would America able to allow that? Will UK able to allow that? Considering the fact that recently over trillions of tons of gas has been discovered in Biafran land, making it the third largest gas deposit in the world. So there's a struggle already, over that. That suddenly the Biafran agitation has become has gotten a global attraction, and there are a lot of things that needed to be put on the table in terms of the economic and political interest of it, globally, to gain momentum gradually. And remember, not only that, there's a lot of things that is coming from the global investors block, showing interest precisely in Aba currently now to turn Aba to WHO hub. We are hearing at the one coming from Elon Musk and all of that, So you don't know why these top world global investors, are already mapping out funds, for possibility, signaling that there's some level of agreement that is actually going on beyond the scene among world leaders who are already discussing this on the table. Like what we are hearing, that the US, the Australian government, of course, when we talk about the Australian government, that's where the major agencies and delegates who are lobbying for Biafrans all over the world, for Biafra Republic all over the world, are coming from. But they represent the bloc of the EU, from that angle. Then we are seeing the US too. That likely there's going to be a meeting any moment from now where both people will sit down and discuss the happenings in Nigeria, and that the best option they are looking at, to be able to solve the Nigerian issue once and for all, is to look towards a total disintegration of Nigeria, since the northern powers, the northern oligarchies, the Fulani government, politicians are insisting that they cannot scrap Sokoto Caliphate or do away with Sharia. So on that angle now, the world is going to meet together and look at it very angle, and look at it that the only possible thing that is remaining now is that is to separate Nigeria and allow the Christian Biafrans to go. And of course, anybody should be seen to have joined out of referendum, out of his will. Any region, any state that want to join Biafra should be given referendum or supported to join. Even if it means anybody who is basically in the north, who is a Christian, who want to relocate to Biafra land, is also welcome. As far as you maintain peace and law and order, and since the north is insisting on the Sokoto Caliphate and of course on the Sharia, that is the main thing why these three continents are meeting. The British, the EU, European Union, and of course the Americans are meeting to take a final decision on the best option on the table for Nigeria after the discoveries of the high-profile delegates of the congressmen who are about to submit their findings to United States of America, Donald Trump, for final decision. But from where we are hearing, Nigeria keep on playing their own angle of high-level diplomacy, trying to see if they can get the United States government to partner and sign a certain agreement of security, understanding, and intelligence and diplomacy to withdraw from a total invasion of Nigeria. But let us see what will happen, whether the US government is going to maybe compromise at the end of the day, or possibly take a final stand when the final report gets to the Oval Office and is on the table of Donald Trump. That's when we know what is actually going on. But with the happenings all over the world, the shooting in Australia, the killing of US personnel in Syria, there might likely be a tough one for Nigeria to face at the end of the day, now that it has become very clearly that Christians in Nigeria are being targeted.